Alright, good evening, guys. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please do press the subscribe button and turn on the post notification. On this channel, we talk about investments, basically anything concerning forex, cryptocurrencies, stocks, and synthetic indices. We use smart money concepts to analyze the way the market moves and making our next logical move based on what we see on the charts, based on past prices. So, just like the title says, we are going to be analyzing BTC with a combination of smart money concepts, wave theory analysis, and Wyckoff methodology. So let's just get straight into it. I'll be starting from the monthly, since we are talking about a long term analysis here, and would you like to see what the bigger structure, what the higher time frame has at hand. So what you see over here on BTC is more of a very bullish structure. Now, what do I mean by structure? Structure is something that goes up, that has consecutive highs and lows. You know, has consecutive highs and lows. Then we could call this an uptrend and this is a downtrend. But in this case now, what we are seeing on BTC right now is that we are currently in a bullish trend. And if you would mark out the trend carefully on the monthly, you will be seeing we are keeping a bullish momentum over here. So this is our new high, and this pullback is going to give us our new low before a continuation to the upside. So having established that fact that we are in a bullish structure, uh, Bitcoin itself as a cryptocurrency is bullish, and for me personally, I feel it will be bullish for the next 5 years to come. You will get to know why I said that almost immediately. So you would see some wave notation on my chart. Now I might have deleted some of the notations I did before, but if we go into the weekly, we'll be seeing a better view of what the wave analysis is saying. So if you're a fan of wave theory, you would be counting this as your one, then this will be your two, then we have a one, two, three, four, five. This the final count where the wave three five forms on this subwave here is where my wave three is stopping, and I would have another pullback here then before it continues to the upside. Now, for your wave theory, you have two impulse, three impulse, and two pullbacks. Now, the three impulse are the wave one, the wave three, then the wave five. The wave 0 to 1, wave 2 to 3, then wave 4 to 5. Then your impulse are the 1 to 2, the 3 to 4. All right. So for our count here, in the wave for wave analysis, our wave theory says that your wave three must at least be 100% of your wave one or more. In this case now, if you are looking at BTC price over here, our wave one, as the wave three hasn't gotten to the 100% mark of Fibonacci extension of wave one. So I'm still expecting that we have not finalized our wave three over here. So with this pullback that we are currently on, pull back to from 34, and I'm expecting it to pull back to about 19K before we move over to the hundreds to finalize where our wave three will be. So our 100% mark is at, if I'm not wrong, this is $76,000. So our 100% mark would be about $76,000. But I really, for personally for me, I would like to go to the five figures. I mean the five figures like the hundreds for my wave five. From the once our old downtrend on our mini structure finishes, then I'll be looking to take it from the 19 to hundreds. But that's not what we are dealing with. What I'm dealing with now is showing you how of a fact that we are really bullish on BTC, and if you are wise enough, it will be so good, or it should be profitable enough to invest in BTC at this early period. So in this case now, we are still on that pullback, and I'm expecting that after this pullback, we stop at 19K. I'll be going to a lower time frame to explain better how I arrived at 19K, and giving you more insights into how you could also do that. So from 90K, I'll be expecting that the BTC price goes over to at least 79 over here from my Fibonacci extension of 100%. I'll be expecting it goes to about 79. And if we are going to be expecting higher prices than that, then it should probably, go over to about the 150 and 161.8 of wave one. But in any case, to be conservative, I'll be stopping at 79 over here. Then for sure, after your wave three, you'll be having another pullback. So definitely with this pullback that we have this that started since early March or early May, if I'm not wrong now, since early April, it will not be the last pullback we'll be having on BTC. So we definitely will be going through another pullback again, probably longer than what we have now to give our bigger wave four before we go to the final price of 350K that we talked about. So in this case now, in the case of having a 350K, you would not want structure wise, you will not want BTC to be breaking the previous low. So if we are to mark out the structure on the weekly, on the monthly, better still, you will see how we have been expecting structure all through. So this is your higher high or higher low. This is your higher high. Then we'll definitely be forming an higher low just around that side before forming an higher high. So this higher high is what will lead us to our wave three, our large scale wave three before we get to a wave four. So the wave four, from the wave four will now lead us to a wave five. Now, mind you that I don't this wave four should definitely not be breaking, should not be breaking the structure that we have set already. So definitely you want your monthly structures to still be bullish. Once you have a change of structure in the market, it means you are definitely going to be having that change of character. So in this case now you have broken the structure here, so you will be having a downtrend happen all of a sudden. So in this case, I will not be expecting that any of the monthly structures on BTC gets broken. We remain bullish. As long as we remain bullish on the monthly, our journey to $350,000 per one BTC would still be intact. Would still be intact. So in case when I said I was going to go to a lower time frame to talk about how we are going to be achieving this 19K. But before that, let me just quickly show you some JPEGs of how we even initially got this whole thing. This whole move to the upside was shared on the Telegram group, on my Telegram group, where I get to share ideas and give some people insights on how the whole price will be going. Let me do that real quick. All right. Okay, so if you would look at the date over here, this is January 31st, 2021, where I this old chart here was where I placed the buy order at about $32,000, 32,374 after a large drop. I think around this time was when the popular Elon Musk tweeted about something and he made this huge drop to the downside. And at that point, I was waiting for my buy order over here with some confluences I use for my analysis. So this was just the past phase. This was the initial entry, and this was the movement till we got to the 46K. Then this is what we this is my present trade, and this hasn't been achieved because I'm still expecting it comes to 19K. But before that, let me just show you before the whole move, how the whole move started. Now this whole thing is a distribution. We have my PSY, my buying climax here, ST, UT, UTAD, then over to test. If you want to know more about all this, you could just join the channel where I get to do weekly webinars on my strategy and how I predict the markets technically. So this structure you are looking in front of you is a Wyckoff methodology where this is what we call a distribution. So a distribution in essence is when we call the composite operators, when once they dump their holdings to the market, just to cause a fall in the market. Now this whole thing here is a distribution, and we have it falling all the way down. This picture was captured on May. I think the fall had started already, but before May, I think I have okay. This was April, where I this arrow was depicting the fact that we were going to fall further onto to become bearish on daily. So this was just follow up of the analysis I made. Now this was made March before the final fall, where I got to this was just okay, this was the beginning. Then this was a follow-up picture, and this is just check you could check the date. This March 26th, where I captured this, and this was captured February 28th. I captured this. So we had been following BTC all along. Okay, and we had already hit TP over here for this same trade. For that same trade. So we've been following BTC all along, and we've had some past results that really gave us the edge as to trusting our analysis better. So in this case now, I'll be expecting our BTC comes over to 19K to take out a lot of liquidity sitting just below this point. Once BTC takes out all this liquidity, taps into this other block, then we should expect a reaction just at this point, then further move to the upside. Now, the whole concept here is not just the whole confirmation here is not just the other block. Now we have a breakout block sitting right above this point, and if you would call this in traditional terms, this would be called your support. Now, this support was where we had difficulty breaking through in previous times. When BT talked about, I think that was December when BTC had a very bad rally to the downside before before recovering and further going down. So this is a very notable area for BTC to react. And if we are going to be looking at it using Elliott's wave, knowing of the fact that this is our this whole structure here is our wave 5. So let me just give that a label real quick so you guys know what I'm talking. So this is two from wave 2 over here. We are hoping that we get to wave 3. Now for the mini structure, this is my 1, this is 2, this should be your wave 3, and this is your 4, then this final thing will be your 5. So this is what I mean. We are on a final wave 5, and I'm expecting that after this wave 5, then we go further down again to have one more correction before our move to 350K. So if we are going to be looking at it now, this wave 5 here has definitely has three three impulse and two pullbacks. Now this is our wave 1, that's the first impulse. This is our correction. This is my wave 3, my second impulse. Then this should be we are on our second correction now. Then before we have our last impulse to the upside. And after this last impulse, we'll definitely be having a pullback to the downside. After a pullback to the downside, still keeping the structure on the monthly, then I want to see BTC rising also from this point down over to 350K, where I would I will be taking my portfolio out of BTC for a while. But for sure, if you are not going to be seeing 350K, then a conservative target price for taking profits will be 200K, and 350K will be my last take profit for BTC in this case. Now, personally, for me, I invest in BTC and I just do minimal leverage trading on BTC. So whatever the case might be, however you might see it, if you want to have more lower structure or lower time frame analysis of BTC, you could just join my Telegram channel just in the description below, or you could chat me up on Instagram, where I'll be leaving all my details on the description below. So, but before that, let's just get into this quickly. So this is how we definitely, just like I explained before, that we are going to be having this as my correction. So my correction over here is not just gotten by mistake. We have one thing you should notice over here was this are these trend lines I draw. Now these trend lines I drew over here are signs of liquidity. You know, they mean liquidity. Liquidity are that areas where we have orders lying. So we have this point over here and this point over here. This is what is called liquidity. Then if you look into the lower time frame, we definitely have liquidity sitting just below those lower time frame. And on the higher time frame, this is an order block. Now, order block is the last sell. In this case, now it is the last sell, the last bearish block before the buy, before the directional move to the upside. So in this case, we have this as our order block. And now in these other blocks, we expect that there will be reactions here before it moves to the upside. So my 100% will definitely be my first take profit for in this case, and the $100,000 for one BTC will be the second take profit before I finally take some volume out in expectant of the next retracement that will happen in the market. So that would be all for BTC and lower time frame. So do not forget to, if you do like the content, do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Whatever you want me to upload and explain, if you like the strategy we are using over here, you could just subscribe. I'll be uploading a lot of YouTube videos explaining in depth what I use over here, the concept of liquidity, order blocks, imbalances, the wave theory, Wyckoff methodology, and so many concepts that you can spot over on this chart. So thank you for coming by.